Hey Grape family, thank you for tuning in on another weekly update video. I feel like this weekly update video is going to be a bit special because I have a ton of updates that I'm going to share in this video. I don't know if you may have guessed or not, but I'm going to share some pretty interesting stuff regarding the vinium, a few things regarding winemaker game, and of course the newly launched solera press. So sit back, relax, pour yourself a glass of wine and enjoy the video. Now, before moving any further, I would like to request you all to please smash that like button and do not forget to subscribe to Grape Finance. And if you have done both, then let's move on. Instead of talking about the price of grape, let's discuss something else first. That would be the circulating supply of grape. In the previous week, the circulating supply of grape was right around 4.97 million tokens. Right now, it has reduced to 4.93 million tokens. This is exactly that we want to see in the circulating supply of grape. So, we would rather have small consistent burns compared to few big irregular burns. What all of this burning is going to do is that it's going to match the supply with the current demand. So yeah, even though grape hasn't managed to reach peg yet, we can still see some positives in the grape token. With that being said, let's now move on to the price of grape. Grape is trading at $0.28 after an uptrend which was right around when Xgrape launched. We of course saw some bigger buys here, here and here, followed by a few bigger sells here and here. Grape sort of formed a floor at $0.3, but that floor was broken by a few sells here. If you look at the transactions, we can see some smaller but consistent buys from the auto compounders, and that is of course good for grape. Let us now talk about our lovely share token, that is the wine. Wine pretty much had the same story as grape, where we saw an uptrend where the price went almost to $26, followed by bigger sells, and then ultimately wine being traded at $15. Wine is going to have revenue sharing from vinium, so considering the fact that you can get paid in blue chips or maybe even stables, wine is pretty undervalued right now. Of course, not financial advice. Please invest only what you can afford to lose. That is it for both grape and wine. Let's now move on to the NFT collections. First up is the winery collection NFTs. The floor price of the winery collection NFT is 4.7 AVX compared to the previous week of 5 AVX. There hasn't been much movement in the floor price of the winery collection NFTs. The total listed count of the NFTs has remained fairly stable, right around the number 70. In the previous AMA, it was confirmed by LB that NFT collateralization in Vinium is coming. So, if you aren't a holder of these NFTs and would not like to miss out, I suggest you that you at least consider buying one of these. Make sure that you keep an eye on the prices of these NFTs because a few weeks ago a goblet was sold for I think 18 AVX, which is very cheap considering how rare a goblet is. That is it for the winery collection. Let's now move on to another NFT collection by Grape Finance, that is the vintners. The floor price of the vintners is sitting at 1.49 AVX compared to the previous week's 1.3 AVX. It seems that the floor of the vintners is coming back to its normal 1.5 AVX. But the interesting fact is that there are only 18 NFTs listed for the vintners, and there are only 2 NFTs that are priced at 1.49 AVX. The next NFT is 2.1 AVX. The floor is looking quite thin, and it seems that people are enjoying the winemaker game. Make sure that you stick around till the end of the video because I have some very interesting things to share regarding the winemaker game. It's time to move on to the presses of Grape Finance. First one is my personal favorite, of course, the winepress. This week, we saw a very big jump in the total deposited wine meme LP tokens. The total deposits are sitting at 18,572 wine meme LP tokens compared to the previous week of only 15,500 LP tokens. So that is an mind-blowing increase of almost 3,000 LP tokens in just a week. The total liquidity for wine is at almost $300,000, and in the winepress, almost $200,000 worth of wine meme LP tokens is locked. So technically you could say that more than 60% of the wine liquidity is locked in the wine press, and therefore protecting the wine holders from very big dumps. So if you have wine in your wallet or in the winery, then what are you waiting for? Get in the wine press and earn a juicy APR from 1% to 3%. That is it for the wine press. Let's now move on to another press, that is the grape soda press. The total deposited grape Xgrape LP tokens in the grape soda press is 154,000 LP tokens compared to the previous week of 145,000 tokens. So that is an increase of 10,000 LP tokens in just a week. If I'm not mistaken, the weekly average deposits in grape soda press has been always more than 10,000 grape Xgrape LP tokens. It has become by far the most liked utility in the Grape Finance. Again, if you have some extra grapes lying around and want to earn triple yield just by sticking in the soda press, then I suggest you at least give this a shot. I assure you, you won't get disappointed. Talking about the grape soda press, I have something to share regarding the Xgrape. Like the Xgrape minter, which means the Xgrape token, we now have a reverse zap which is called the Xgrape seller. Which now means that you won't have to go through the hassle of redeeming the Xgrape for grape meme magic tokens and then unstaking those tokens, then removing the liquidity from Swapsicle. Now, all you need is Xgrape in your wallet to receive meme, grape, magic grape meme LPs or Swapsicle grape meme LPs. So let us thank the team for reducing the burden on the investors. So now let us continue talking about the weekly updates, and of course let's recap the AMA. I am sure that like me, you guys are also very excited regarding Vinium. So let us first talk about Vinium. Good news for all the Vinium enthusiasts. Vinium is now deployed on the mainnet, but wait, you still cannot use it because LB has mentioned that he needs to first verify a couple of contracts and then fill in the UI integration. So my guess is that it's going to take a few more days for the Vinium to go live. Of course, as previously discussed, the OGs of Grape Finance will be the first ones to use the Vinium. LB has also talked about the tokens that will be initially supported in Vinium. The first two are gonna be SAVEX and AVEX. After those, there will be of course the Kings, Bitcoin and ETH. Following those, there will be stables, and finally Grape. If you are a holder of Xgrape, then you don't have to worry because Xgrape will also be used in Vinium as collateral. The initial system for Vinium is going to be very similar to the Aave system, and then a lot of things will be built on top of that. The next expected stages would be the leveraged yield farming, and the next is very exciting and very interesting, and also a first on AVEX, which is the NFT lending. As you all know, OpenSea has finally started the support for the AVEX NFTs. So the opportunity here is very, very, very big, and we are ready to capitalize on that. Another pretty interesting alpha was shared by LB. There will be some exotic collaterals that will be used in Vinium. By exotic, I mean assets like GLP, GMX, etc. That too will be a first. GMX, if you didn't know, has a market cap of almost $300 million. So imagine what would happen if Vinium started supporting tokens like GMX and GLP as collateral. Moving on, a few people were confused regarding the wine single stake for vinium revenue sharing. It has been now confirmed that there will be no separate pool for vinium revenue sharing. Instead, LB has mentioned that it would be integrated into the winery itself. So, stake your wine in the winery to earn the revenue from vinium as well as grape when grape is above peg. There you go. I hope that there is no further confusion. I think that is enough alpha for vinium for one day. Let us now move on to everyone's favorite play to earn, which is the winemaker. A separate illiquid token for the winemaker game has now been introduced by LB and it is called resin. Resin will be used in the game instead of grape. Don't worry, grape is still being technically used in the winemaker game. Let me show you how. So, if you want to mint the resin token, which you will have to of course because you will need the token to use in the game, you're going to need Grape Meme LPs or the Xgrape or the vintage Meme LP tokens. Resin will be used in the place of grape for recharging tool mints and skills with the goal of encouraging protocol owned liquidity. Now you must be thinking, how would this support the grape burn? Well, LB has said that grape will be split from the protocol owned liquidity and it will be sent to the burn address. This in turn is going to make tracking the burn of grape very easy. Moving on, the tool magazine was recently buffed. The magazine now has a VPM of 2 instead of 1 with a total limited supply of only 500. The new tool that was previously discussed is going to launch very soon, either the end of this week or early next week. LB has mentioned that this new tool will be slightly better than the Hydro with a limited supply of only 75. So make sure that you get your assets ready to mint this new tool because I am having a gut feeling that it's gonna sell out really fast. That is it for the winemaker game. But wait, the weekly updates hasn't been finished yet. I have more. A new utility has been added in Grape Finance which has to do with S vintage token. It is called the Solera aging room. I hope that I'm announcing this correct. If not, I'm sorry. The Solera aging room is as same as the Grape sodapress. If you have been staking your vintage token in the cellar for S vintage or you have some S vintage staked in the vineyard to earn wine, you can bring your S vintage token in the Solera aging room to earn more of the S vintage token. The daily base APR for the Solera aging room is 2%, which is easily more than the Grape sodapress or the winepress. The total deposits in the Solera aging room is sitting at 1.3 million S vintage token. Of course, like all the presses, I will be tracking the total deposits in the Solera aging room every week. That is it for the weekly update. I'm joking, there's more. Let's now talk about the Grape Meme nodes. I'm sure that everyone knows the nodes in the Grape Finance have been suffering for a while now. The Grape nodes after the migration to version 2 are looking in a bit better shape than before. But the Grape Meme Swapsicle nodes and the Grape Walrus nodes looks to be suffering. People have been complaining about the degrading APRs in both of these nodes. Now LB has mentioned that he has made finding a solution for the Grape Meme Swapsicle nodes his priority. LB is in talk with EMP regarding moving Grape Meme to something similar to a press. But LB also mentioned that there will be a lot of technical difficulties in moving these nodes because the nodes and the presses have a very different mechanism. So I think that the Grape Meme Swapsicle nodes will not be integrated into the Grape soda press. Instead, these nodes will either get their own press or something very different from a node. Of course, nothing has been set in the stone yet, so it will be better if we not speculate. So that is it for for all the updates and the AMA recap. Before ending this video, I would like to remind you something. Grape Finance left a very big impact in the tome space and in the seniorage space. Grape Finance started in January and it has been nothing but innovative in the space. People look up to Grape Finance as a standard for seniorage protocols. Of course, all thanks to LB and the awesome team and the awesome community that we have. Let us all keep moving forward and keep supporting each other. So please support Grape Finance by liking this video and subscribing to this channel. Additionally, what you can do is you can use this Linktree link in your Discord or Twitter bio. That way, Grape Finance can have a lot of new eyes. All thanks to Dirk Oz, who is an MVG in Grape Finance, for making this Linktree. That is it for this week's weekly update video. Thank you for watching and see you in the next week.